Alright, we'll be taking at the 4 main build that you can build from the latest Vanguard VG-V-BT07, featuring Angel Feather, Genesis, Nubatama, and also Nova Grappler. Alright, so first of all, we'll take a look at the latest Angel Feather deck featuring Egodale, Cosmo Healer Egodale. Alright, so these Vanguards, when it comes into play, Counterblast 1, choose up to 2 rear guards from any of the player's field, send them in damage zone, and if you place 1 or more, this unit get +1 critical for this turn, and both players heal according to the amount of cards that sent to their damage zone. And as a Vanguard, it gets power plus 5000 for each card in your opponent's damage zone in face up. Alright, so as this is a main, we have 4 copies. Alright, so 4 copies of this. And we have 4 copies of Metatron. Alright, as our secondary grade 3. And we have Feather Palace as our finisher in the deck. You can play up to around 3 copies if you want. And next we have this new card, Freezing Granter. So as a Vanguard rear guard, enters a field, Soul Blast 1, choose an opponent's rear guard, send to damage zone, and your opponent heal 1. Alright, and when attacking, you can Counterblast 1. This unit get power plus 5000 for each card in your opponent's damage zone in face up. Right, so it's another attacker, and it can also like jump out your opponent's field and get rid of the key cards such as things like Blaster Blade, Blaster Dart on the field. Next, we have another card from the previous set. So, enter the field, Soul Blast 1, call 1 card from the damage zone onto the rearguard circle, and top that into damage zone in face down. Right, so it's to manipulate your own damage zone. And we have the Hygienist Angel, plus 5000 for each card in your damage zone. It's continuous as a rear guard, so even on your opponent's turn, you get the power increase. Right, and also in 4 copies, as this is a very good first right. And Hestia, so 3 copies of this. So enter the field, Counterblast 1, swap the position of 1 card from your damage zone and 1 card from your hand in face up. Right, it's very, very useful. And we played 4 copies of the Scalpel Angel. Right, so if you have 3 or more cards in your damage zone, this unit get intercept and power plus 5000. So it's a 13k attacker and a 10k interceptor. So it's a very good addition to the deck. And for the triggers, we have 4 draw, 8 crit, 4 heal, and the first Vanguard. If you are more adventurous, you can actually go for around just 2 of these will do, and increase to like 10 critical if you want. As this is a protect clan, you can always add your protect marker to hand. Alright, so this deck basically manipulate the field and your damage zone, and it destroys your opponent's field. So it's very good against decks such as Royal Paladin and Shadow Paladin that needs their field, full field on the yeah. So so that's Angel Feather. Right, so next let's take a look at the new Genesis deck, which is a direct upgrade from the latest TD09. So the new addition is the new VR, where you can Counterblast 1 to gain a additional force marker every turn, once per turn. And if there's a unit on your astral plane, you can Soul Blast 1 to draw 1. Right, definitely a very good addition to the deck. And of course we have Uranus as a secondary Vanguard, as this unit also gives you additional force marker. And of course we have Valkyrion, our main unit on the astral plane, 4 copies. Right, so let's place them out first. So 4, 4, and 4. Right, so that's for the higher grade units. Let's go for the grade 2. So we have a new addition, which is Prosperous. So when during a battle where it's boosted, this unit get power plus 5000. When attacking as a Vanguard, Soul Blast 1, look at top 3, add a grade 3 and above to hand, and the rest into Soul. So this is a very, very good ride on your grade 2. In case you have missing pieces in your hand. So this is definitely a plus. Next, we have a trial deck card. So Prometheus. Enter the field, look at top 2, 1 into Soul, 1 back to top deck. And that's a very, very strong effect. It's a plus. And when attacking, you can, if your Vanguard is a grade 3 and above, during this turn, that Vanguard and this unit get power plus 5000. Next, another new card, double R, Pluto. So after attacking a Vanguard, counter plus 1, send this unit into Soul. During this turn, one of your unit get power plus 10,000. If your Vanguard is a Astral Poet, you gain 1 imaginary gift and put it on the Vanguard circle. Right, so to increase the speed of you having an Astral Plane. Next, we have another new triple R. So enter the field as a Vanguard or Rearguard, draw 1, return 1 card back to bottom deck. And if it's on Vanguard circle, get the Soul Charge 2. After boosting, you have Soul Blast 2 and return this card back to hand. Right, it's not a must play, but it's good to have. So maybe 2 to 3 copies will do. Next, we have another Searcher. So when enter the field, look at top 7, add 1 Valkyrion to hand, and shuffle the deck. If you add a card to hand and there are 2 or less force marker on your Vanguard circle, you put 1 card from your hand into Soul. Right, another trial deck card. So enter the field, Soul Charge 1, and activate, counter blast 1, send this unit to Soul, draw 1. If your Vanguard is a Astral Poet, you gain 1 force marker. Right, so draw 1, increase your Soul, and you get another force marker. Right, as for the triggers, we have the usual 4 draw, 8 crit, 4 heal, and the first Vanguard. Alright, so the average speed for you having an Astral Plane is around 2 turns slowest. Normally, I will get it on the first turn of my Vanguard grade 3. So this is a very, very fast deck. But do take note that when you use this, when you call Valkyrion and we check the top deck, try not to use the try not to discard the high grade for too many times. Right? As this deck draws and Soul Charge too fast, you'll get deck out very, very easily. Alright? So that's for Genesis. Right, next we will take a look at the new Nubatama. Right, featuring Hanzo. So, by retiring 2 grade 0, during this turn, this unit get power plus 20,000, and return all rear guards from both player field, any amount of them, back to hand. And if your opponent is a grade 3, they have to discard the same amount that return get back to hand. Alright, this is very useful, and as is, you can choose the unit. So against things such as Blaster Dark, you will not want them to have extra imaginary gift after they call a second time. So you can choose not to return that back to hand. Alright, so this is the new Ace monster, Hanzo. Alright, next we have Jamil Congo from the previous set. So this is very useful as both as the first ride or the second ride. So you manipulate your opponent's hand, and as we have high power now, so it's easier for you to win the game with it. Right, next we have Fuzen. So when attacking, if you have 5 cards in your damage zone, Soul Blast a grade 3, bind any cards from your drop zone, and during this battle, this unit get power plus 5,000 for each card in your bind zone, and your opponent can use Sentinel from hand. Right, so it's basically a final turn card. You can bind like 10 cards from your drop zone plus 50,000, and your opponent can use Sentinel. Right, a very, very strong addition to the deck. And we have Zangetsu, our main unit that produced the evil decoy token. So activate, and it's not even once per turn. Counterblast 1. Call a token onto the field. During this turn, it gets boost and power plus 5000. And when this card gets attacked, you can change target to the token and return this card back to hand. Alright, and we still play Makatsugi as it's a good way to increase your hand size and power plus 6000. Not only that, you can actually return another unit back to hand. And Tsunamasa is still a useful unit to increase your soul, so still 3 copies. Alright, we played 3 copies of the Kurogiri, but I feel that we can play like around 2 copies will do, as this is not our main way of getting the token, as Soul Blast 2 is a very high cost. So we stick it at 3 copies, or maybe lesser if you need. And Sakura Fubuki for counter charge, 4 copies. Tataribue is useful as you get power plus 5000 as long as it's a grade 0, and as a Vanguard, when it hits you get to draw 1, so we keep it at around 3. Alright, next we played the Oboro card. So when I enter the field, discard 1 card from my hand, double the attack of a grade 3 in the same column. So I can either go with Jamil Kongo for a finisher, or I can just increase my Hanzo. Alright, so for triggers, 6 draw, 6 crit, 4 heal, and the first Vanguard. And other cards that was in consideration when building this deck was, first of all, Hagakure. When enter the field, choose a unit on your field. During this turn, this unit get power and the guard of that unit. So, example, after I use Hanzo, it's 32,000. I can call this and make it into 32,000. Alright, so it's very strong. And since it's a grade 0, after using that, the next turn I can just retire it for Hanzo's ability again. And the other one that was in consideration was Fuki. Since there's a lot of returning back to hand, so this unit will be a 14k attacker or booster. So it can be in your consideration if you are interested. Right, so that's a new Nubatama. Alright, last but not least, we have the new Nova Grappler featuring the God Hand Dragon. So the main feature of this deck is that most of the units have this ability where if you trigger a front trigger, you get additional effect. Like for God Hand, the front trigger, instead of plus 10,000 to the front row, you get plus 20,000, so additional 10k. And when attacking, you can counter blast once, discard 1 card from hand. During this turn, this unit gets drive plus 1, and if your opponent is a grade 3, it gets an additional critical trigger. So this is a very good addition to Nova Grappler, and definitely 4 copies for this deck. Next, we have the Illumino Dragon. So this is my secondary Vanguard, or as it can be also used as a rear guard. When one of your other unit hits a attack hits during this turn plus 15,000, and as a Vanguard, during a battle when the attack didn't hit, you can counter blast 1 and stand that unit. Alright, so a good plus to the deck. So it can be an alternate grade 3. Next we have Sync. So when attacking, you can counter blast 1, discard 1 card from hand, reduce the drive by 1, so a single drive, and you can drive check as a rear guard. Right, so as these decks increase your front trigger ability, so as you want to trigger as much as you want, as you can. So 2 copies of this, 4 copies of the Striker, as this is a God Hand Searcher, and not only that, you get the front trigger plus 5,000. So if God Hand and Striker is on the field, you get 25,000 per front trigger. Alright, since we are pumping the power by so much, so we added Typhoon inside to restand another rear guard. And not only that, when you call it onto the Vanguard or additional rearguard circle, we can choose a unit plus 5000. Next, we have Huskar. This is not a must play, but it's a good to have. So when your God Hand on the Vanguard circle attacks, you can counter blast 1 to draw 1. Right, since this deck uses a lot of counter blasts, I only kept it at 2. Next, we have the X2. So when you trigger a front trigger, withstand this unit. Very simple for multi-attacker. And similar to the grade 2 striker, so plus 5000. And as a Vanguard and the attack hit, draw 1 and discard 1 card from hand. Okay, so these two can actually be added to any Nova Grappler deck, as long as you play front trigger. Next, we added in the Doku Mechanic as a counter charge unit. Right, since the counter blast is very heavy, so we try to counter charge at least once or twice in the game. Right, Grid Penko. This is a must play. Right, so when enter the field, reveal a front trigger in your hand and put it on the top of the deck. Very simple. So it allows you to have a 100% front trigger when you triggers. So with example, you have all 3 of them on the field, 3, 2, and 1. So every front trigger right now is 30,000. It's a definite 30,000 to the front row. Right, so 4 of the draw trigger, 8 front, 4 heal, and also a new first Vanguard. Right, so you may want to add more front trigger to the deck, but make sure that you end the game as fast as you can, as this deck do not have the ability to drag the game. So most probably within 2 turns after you go into grade 3, or else you'll be in quite a deep trouble as you run out of counter blast. And yeah, so that's our new Nova Grappler.